Hey, guess what? This is the 20th book I've read to you on Grandma Pama Reads to You. It's called, you've read this one before and you love it. It's called Caps for Sale. It's a tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business. Told and illustrated by Esphyr Slobodkina. I don't know a lot about this author, but I think that they are Slavic. And it's an old tale from their old lands. This book belongs to Riley. Little baby Riley was on the scene now. Wow. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. His wares, that means the things that he sells. He carried them on top of his head. First he had on his own checked cap, and then a bunch of gray caps, and then a bunch of brown caps, and then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. Upset in that sentence means to make them fall over. He had to walk straight so his caps wouldn't fall off. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked down the street and up the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town, slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand up to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. Could you sleep sitting up that straight? I don't know if I could. He slept for a long time. That picture of the sun moved across the sky while he was sleeping. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. Look how his checkered hat matches his checkered pants. Do you see anything wrong in this picture? But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was either a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. Look at those little monkeys. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. That's a good plan. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Woo, woo, woo." Look at this. Tss, tss, tss. That must be in the language of the author, what monkeys say. but I always say monkey language like we know. This made the peddler angry. So he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands at him and said, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." Hey, are they copying him? I think they're copying him. Not sure, let's see. Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." Yeah, I think they're copying him. By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." Oh, he's jumping up and down with anger, isn't he? But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, "Oh, oh, oh." They're trying to talk, aren't they? At last, the peddler became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. If the monkeys are copying, then each monkey pulled off his cap, and all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps, put them back on his head. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." That calmed him down pretty quickly, didn't it? What does that say? The end.